wild thing. Dun, 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 dun. You make my heart sing. Da, da, da. You make everything beery. Needs work. It needs a bit of work. It's going to be a lot better for our live shows, though. I promise. Welcome, beer and bad karaoke fans alike, to the Lager Logs Points of View with Tom and Stu. I'm Tom. He's Stu. Say hello, Stu.
Hello.
Straight off the top, thank you for tuning in and joining us this week, dudes and damsels. You are officially now a member of the Rootin' Tootin' Points of View posse. We do all the usual stuff you'd expect. Ride mares, drink heavily, wash once a week. All the fun of the Old West without the tuberculosis. Stu, how are you, partner?
Dude, yeah. I need a
good?
minute to process just that spiel you just threw out there.
Is it a bit too much?
Um,
Did I go too far?
no, I could just never match it.
It's going to pare
You're
that down a
just
little bit.
on the next level,
Pare it down.
and I'll come in like the bumbling oaf going, can we drink our beers now?
Well, seeing as you asked so nicely, we can. Tonight, we will most definitely be getting weird and wild. Emphasis on the wild with a dangerous duo from Wild Beer Co. Stu, how familiar are you with this evening's guest brewery?
I believe I've had one of their
Okay.
beers, and it is one that we're discussing tonight.
Okay, you
got-
get one of these.
It was the Beer Hawk Valentine's Day gift set I got. That came with the Beer Hawk tumbler
Yeah.
and 4 or 5 different craft beers, and I believe one of them was the Millionaire milk stout.
Oh, brilliant, man.
It was either
Brilliant.
that or a different variation, because I think the one I had, the label looks identical, but I feel it mentions something about salted caramel.
Well, this one does say, if you have a quick little look on the side, salted caramel and chocolate. So
I will shut my
I
pass.
think
You're
it's
right.
obviously officially classed as a milk stout, but I think that's the flavor profile they're going for. That should be interesting. So no spoilers then. I'll await your opinion and see how it matches up to the last time you had it. So let's do it, buddy. Our first beer of this evening. I thought we'd start with the one that's most likely to not make my stomach spin like a washing machine. It's Under the Sun Session Hazy IPA. There we go, in all its
Hairspray
glory.
nicely.
I've been right. I've been
The
waiting
beer, not Tom.
to crack this. No, I am too.
Look how
I
struggle.
I always am. Jeez, anybody got a spoon or something? There we go.
Woo. Yeah, I don't need my little plastic lady this week.
No, just going with the cans this week, and it smells lovely. Yeah, it smells very nice. Quite
It does. Some,
fruity.
yeah, some fruity notes.
Looking forward to.
Now, Wild Co's one of those beers that you do actually see it in the shops. It's definitely like a Morrison's beer.
Is it now?
Yeah, I'd seen one of theirs in St Andrews a couple of weeks ago. I think it was called Pogo.
Oh, okay. It's not one I've seen myself around, but I suppose, well, I know you're a lot more familiar with the more crafty side of things.
I
Stu,
spend
you
more time in the
crafty
beer aisle than
bastard.
you. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, you might be right about that one. So let's have a guzzle, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit more drier than I thought it was going to be. It's not as fruity.
It's smooth and juicy on the tin.
Yeah, it's
To me,
it's very smooth.
It's the first word in there. It's session.
Yeah.
Session hazy IPA. Whereas you take a gulp, it doesn't have a big a bang as you're expecting.
No, it's not too rich, is it? I suppose it's perfect for, as you say, sessioning. So yeah, here we have Wild Beer Co.'s Under the Sun Session Hazy IPA, standing at a flirty 4.7%.
And that's high for a session.
I would
beer
think
as well.
so. Yeah, I mean, what was our one last week? 2 point something.
Yeah.
German Pilsner. So yeah, it's quite surprising. A little backstory on the company. They started brewing in late 2012 in the kitchen of Westcombe Dairy, a farm in rural Somerset, by an unnamed Californian brewer and an Englishman. Very mysterious. And they specialize in producing beers using alternative fermentations, unorthodox wild yeasts captured in a neighboring cider orchard, plus unusual and seasonally foraged ingredients. Their claim to fame is their 600-strong barrel library, which in their previous lives had contained whiskey, sherry, rum, port, tequila, and brandy. So by utilizing them, they quietly impart nuances from those previous liquid inhabitants into their beers. How about that? Very interesting. Right. Let's put that on pause for the moment so we can catch up with our last beers watched. Woo! Come on, Stu. How's the last week been for you, my friend? Tell me all about it.
I'm drawing a blank on my beers, but I did help. Well, I didn't help myself. I did buy a bottle of Atlantic Pale Ale, Sharps Breweries.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Atlantic Pale. I got that at a bar, and the barman, it was like the last bottle in the fridge.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Like, it's forever the game, like craft beer and Pokemon. You got to try them all. Well, not don't try the Pokemon, catch them all, but just drink them all.
Yeah.
So I'd seen that, and I was eyeing all the other beers in the fridge, and it was like Newcastle Brown, Doom Bar, and I was like, being there, had that. There's Atlantic Pale. I've always seen those cracking pictures on Instagram where it's like the tumbler, and it's the Atlantic going vertical up the glass.
Yeah, they're cool, man. Yeah, they're really cool.
And I thought, I'll have one of those, please. And whether it was the face mask that obscured the bartender's face, but I'm pretty sure he said to me, "Do you think you're very special, or are you feeling very special?" So
what?
You see, I'm not sure if he was mildly offended with my choice of drink. Oh, you think you're special? Was the expression, I'm pretty sure his response to me asking for one of those. And
what?
I don't know. I was like, was that your bottle of beer for after your shift? Was there like 2 minutes left?
Yeah, and that might be it.
Some balding prick showed up and bought it right out from under you.
That describes my Saturday night pretty good too, man. That's very strange.
Yeah, so I was
I definitely think you probably kept it aside for later and was furious that you took it away from him.
Yeah, fucking stick it at the back of the fridge next time, you prick. Come on.
Man,
don't leave it out there in the open.
It sounds like there was a lot of good bottles, but what was the tap game like? Did it have BDE, Big Draft Energy?
It's kind of like your standard, like Carlin, Heineken, a lot of ciders like Magners, and obviously the big T, Scottish award-winning Tennants, not Tetleys, Tennants. Remember the country, my son.
Then, man.
Yes, one country.
Hot flushes, then, dude. Woo! Did you jump on the Tennants? No, or did you stick with the? So you stuck with the Sharps Atlantic Pale Ale. Is that what you?
It was nice. It was. I think it was described as like tropical and pale, and it was decent. I got a nice buzz after. I'd combined it with a couple other drinks, so I was in that nice hazy bubble.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, I remember. I think if I remember it, I had it maybe a couple of years ago. It's like an American pale ale almost, not too kind of, not a lot going on, like a bit kind of hoppy, quite smooth, not too kind of overwhelming with the flavor. It was just kind of okay on the money, if I remember. Yeah,
it was nice, bitter, and kind of had a wee taste to it.
Awesome. It had a wee taste to it, or
not a taste of wee, but definitely there's a taste to this that makes it stand out from the others.
Did the bartender spoil it on purpose.
I did wonder why he went through the back to pour the drink. Here you go, special.
Took a cold bottle out of the fridge into the back, came out with a warm, moist bottle, and you didn't bat an eyelid, no?
Yeah. It looked like he topped it up for some reason. I didn't ask for a shandy, but...
Fantastic. Did
I'm
you
starting
sink
to
into
relive
anything
that
else?
night in a different vision now. Please tell me, what have you been drinking?
Yeah, I had a cracking week. I think recording our Oktoberfest special shot me off into German beer hyperspace as I was keen to track down a couple of different styles. So, firstly, I had Hofmeister Helles, which I've only just learned how to pronounce, which is Hof's kind of comeback beer. They've been off the market for a long time. It was huge over here in the 80s with their follow the bear campaign, with George the Bear.
Were you getting like a history lesson?
You know that guy.
With
you know that guy, right? Well, no, I mean, but it was big kind of over here, but a long time ago. I don't know whether you were familiar with the brand or the bear or.
I don't think so. No.
No. Okay, you need to.
I'll let you send me YouTube videos at 2-3 o'clock in the morning of old beer adverts. As
that sounds
you do.
about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You'll slide into my DMs again
for the millionth time this week. Yeah, so this is their kind of comeback beer. I think they relaunched it a couple of years ago, which means I can finally try it. And yeah, it was fantastic. It's a Hella, so it's a bit maltier and sweeter than your Pilsner, which I really dig. To compare it to kind of a similar beer, and I haven't had many beers in that particular style, so yeah, it was very exciting to try.
Now, is that, sorry to interrupt, is that often seen like Hell's together when it's like Hell's Lager?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've always just assumed it's a variation on lager.
Yeah, it's another German pale lager, and as I was saying, it tends to be a bit more kind of sweeter and a bit more maltier than a Pilsner. From what I've tried so far, I've only tried like a handful, but they've all been fantastic. So yeah, that was great. And I also had Hofbrau Dunkel, which is a funny word, but it's also a German dark lager. And man, I think this is my new favorite style. It was gorgeous.
Oh.
The Dunkel or Dunkel, to me, it tastes somewhere between a brown ale and a Scotch ale. It's like the best of both worlds almost. It's just not quite as heavy, it being a lager rather than ale, but with all the flavor that you'd expect from those two styles, or kind of a melding of those two styles. It's like I think it was a 5.5% too, so it kind of sits nice in between those two styles, alcohol wise. Also, lovely stuff. Really looking forward to trying more out in that style. If I can track it down, because that was my first time having a go on one, and it was gorgeous. Last but not least, I hopped on a short flight on Brewski Airways to Brussels to sample their 10% strong dark Belgium ale, Golden Draak.
Good
man,
God.
I did it. I beat my 9% maximum volume ceiling, smashed through it, and hit double figures. And man, it was surprising. It wasn't as intense as I thought it would be. And I honestly said to myself, it's like Tetley's, but really strong. That's literally after the...
They've left the tea bag in too long.
Yeah, that was it. After the first couple of sips, like Tetley's, broadside, very similar taste profile. It must be the yeast they used, is what I'm assuming, because I know that's what makes Tetley special, is like that certain variant of yeast, like a double yeast or something that they use, because it had a very obvious sweetness to it. Not harsh at all, really. It was similar kind of warm presence to a barley wine, but definitely more of a taste profile of an English kind of strong ale to me. Very interesting beer. And I must confess, I did have to have a quick lie down after polishing it off. It was a bit intense, to be honest. But yeah, had a fantastic week. That's my last beers watched.
Well done. That's quite a week.
Thanks, man. It was a really good week. Yeah, managed to kind of track down a couple of interesting styles, fairly newish styles to me. So yeah, trying to get a bit more international recently with the brewskis because there's a lot of undiscovered stuff kind of out there. So yeah, trying to track them all down and check them out.
Yeah, Littles have like I think their third craft beer promotion going on this year, and again it's just based around Scottish breweries. But I feel there's two or three that are quite high percent. Obviously, I sent you a picture last week with the four I bought, and they're all like 6 and above. But I'm positive there's at least an 8 and maybe a 10 out there too.
Yeah, I was.
The fact that they're so easily accessible, I think I will grab them.
Jump into them. Yeah, I think I was looking. Wasn't it like a stout that was 8%, something like that?
Yeah.
From what you
like a black bottle
show me, yeah, which looks really good. But yeah, I think there's some really interesting styles on there. But it's awesome that they're all kind of obviously local produce as well, which is fantastic. Keeping it local, it's awesome. What do you think about this beer, Stu?
This is quite a lovely little beer. I'm enjoying it more as I'm drinking it. It's definitely probably maybe the best of the session style beers because I always tend to feel a little bit let down. Whereas I'm drinking a session, I should have just been drinking an IPA or just something stronger. But I never do it in the session style. I'm not I'm not going out of my way to drink like 6 of these so I could pace myself.
Yeah, I think I'm up for the idea of it, the session beer, but my feelings are that if it's not coming with enough flavor or enough kind of back end to it, then I'm just not really interested in it. Where this has got a lot of back end to it. Lovely.
Aye, that's I was still noticing that myself. Just kind of taking a swig there and still kind of getting that light fruity taste at the end.
Do you know what it is, dude? I think the session kind of subtitle to this is more in relation to the flavor rather than the alcohol, I would say, because it's not very overwhelming, is it? It's quite subtle fruitiness, and I think that's kind of what makes it fall under the kind of session moniker. Is purely down to the flavor rather than the kind of alcohol content.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was good. How does it sit in your rankings of other NAPAs or any IPAs or hazy IPAs?
No, it's getting foggy. I'd almost have to start a spreadsheet to try and keep on top of them all. But
man, tell me about it.
This could be like a repeat offender, I think.
Yeah, I feel the same, bud. I feel the same.
What do you think of the style, the art style to these cans?
I like it. It's like Braille almost.
This, yeah, you can feel it, don't you? There's a definitely, it's taking the hard skin. My calluses, they're gone. But no, the under the sun tin almost kind of has like a hydro dip look to it, where it's like green with like a splash of pink water almost.
Yeah, I think all the hazy or the New England IPAs tend to have that kind of same color profile, don't they? Or that kind of similar, not similar artwork, but kind of similar setup with the green or the. Is it green? No.
Yeah, I would call it green.
Aqua.
Big fan of teal.
There. Yeah, teal. Yeah, let's go. Let's go to this has gone off the road completely. Let's get it back on. But yeah, really nice beer, and I think that as you say, a repeat offender for sure. Right, our second beer of the evening, or the dessert to our hazy main, is going to be Millionaire Milk Stout. Righty-o. Let's see if this one delivers for you still, Stu, or maybe you thought it was dreadful the first time. I still don't know. I cannot wait to.
I have such a love-hate relationship with Stout. I've been let down so many times.
15 cans of Stout in his fridge still. This is probably why. I don't know. Yeah,
Not a lot of smell.
yeah, not convinced really. Right, this is going to be a very tentative first sip on this brewski.
Yeah, look at it.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, dude. Mm, I like it. You
Not for
don't.
me. Not for me. No, no.
Should stout taste this sweet?
I don't, I don't, I don't think so. Um, right, while I kind of get my thoughts together on this brewski, I'll tell you a little backstory. We have here Wild's Millionaire Milk Stout standing at a finicky 4.7%. To jump back briefly into the behind the scenes of the company, I touched upon it earlier, but yeah, these guys are pushing the wild beer angle of their output. And to be a bit more detailed in general, wild ales or farmhouse ales traditionally, whether that be Belgian lambic styles or your French saisons, often differ from other styles by implementing a microorganism other than the in-house yeast into the beer to give them that distinctive funky taste. So that's their style. What about their back catalogue? Pretty huge. Most notably, things that stuck out to me were yokai, the yuzu citrus, onami seaweed, and Sichuan peppercorn sake inspired beer.
Jesus Christ.
That's not a beer. That's Wagamamas in a can, my man.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fucking Chinese buffet. Well, not Chinese buffet, but that's a world buffet.
Meal, buddy, yeah. Wildebeest, an 11% imperial stout, packing Peruvian cocoa nibs, Madagascan bourbon vanilla, and Peruvian, Rwandan, and Ethiopian coffee beans.
Good God. Now I've been in like a craft beer shop before, and they did have like a big bottle of wild beer, and it was silly expensive price, and it was also really high in volume. I think that's probably why it was priced up so high. But
It's got to be,
they
yeah.
seem to be really doing some really out there beers.
Interesting stuff, man. Yeah, and you're right. It's probably because the ingredients. It sounds like they're putting kind of quality ingredients into it, so that probably explains the price tag. And yeah, one that caught my eye was Modus Operandi, the beer that started the brewery, a wild yeast infused oak barrel matured old ale. So
Oh,
that would be one that I'm very intrigued to have a look at, and even taste, not just there at the can. Check them all out. Okay, it's that time of the
so
evening.
well, okay, I know we're getting ready to jump across that bridge to listener questions,
Jump off that bridge.
but I'm gonna have another sip of this drink and tell me what you think, Tom.
Do I have to? Can I just not keep talking?
I find this really drinkable. It's dark. I feel it's maybe kind of got like for it's saying salted caramel, chocolate, milk stout. I was like, I've got a kind of really nice, like sweet coffee vibe coming off of it.
It's definitely got. I mean, it's got that milk stout kind of texture to it. I think there's almost like a false sweetness to it, almost like a sweetener kind of taste to it, which I'm not
Yeah, I
really
could probably
digging.
see that.
It doesn't seem very kind of authentic, the flavor. It's kind of, yeah, as I say, it's more like a fake sweetness. And
Yeah.
again, I'm always a bit skeptical when it comes to kind of sweetness with beers. And this one,
I just
kind of not
I
digging
wondered
it.
that. Yeah, because
Kind of not
that's
digging
it.
it.
This is some new territory for us.
It
We
is.
haven't
It
dabbled with
is.
stout that much. One or
Not.
two.
Yeah, not of this category. Obviously,
Or
we've done
Guinness.
our we've done our kind of our shows on Guinness. But yeah, nothing kind of this ilk. So, but no, man, it's all good. We're enjoying kind of giving it a spin, trying something new.
Have you tried any of the other notably sweeter stouts that you get out there? You know how, let's see, like it's marshmallow or rocky road
It's
or chocolate
always
orange.
yeah, something a bit out there. I tend to kind of steer clear of them, to be honest, man. You know me, I do prefer more of a traditional brew, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying kind of giving something new a spin. But yeah, I will keep you updated with my thoughts, feelings, opinions on the matter. I mean, it
Yeah.
is podcast. I suppose I have to share a little bit with you.
Why are you
Um,
pouring the rest of that beer out, Tom?
right. What? What?
Oh, is it still
What
there?
are
I
you
thought
talking
you were just.
about?
I could just hear it being poured into a sink.
Right. It's
What
a
reach
time
you
of the
have?
evening. Time of the evening where we lower the barrier, wind down the spit-proof shield between the fans and hosts, and get into our listeners' heads. It's take cover, buddy. It's listeners' questions.
Well, it's
Right. First up, Haley Louise asks, "Do you prefer?" We were just talking about this. Do you prefer a classic beer or a flavored type?
oh well,
It's
that's it. This
almost
is
like someone was like writing things, preparing the script, and thought, you know what? Those two things match the question and the beer, and kind of did a good job on that. What do you
hmm
think? I'm not saying it's me. I'm just saying someone did it. An unnamed person. Stu, take the floor, please. Let us know.
well, that's it. I feel this is the yin and yang of me and Tom. I think I do enjoy kind of like a sweet, fruity beer, or I like to be surprised by like the under the sun, like that had some nice fruity notes to it,
Yeah.
made it quite a pleasant drink. When I get a stout, I'm not really a fan of the darker beers.
Mm.
I need a little bit of sweetness just to kind of make it tolerable. When you get a milk stout that kind of has, well, what they say is salted caramel and chocolate. Thankfully, there isn't any heavy salt notes in that because I'd probably
I was
fucking
gonna say, yes,
spit it
no.
out. But I think that's just a fad of salted caramel itself.
Yeah.
But I do really enjoy a nice sweet stout. Um, Another notable one would be Stuart Brewing's Choco Clock, and that was their chocolate
Ah.
orange stout, and it really did come across. I think it was a chocolate orange. I might. It was definitely a chocolate stout at least,
Yeah.
and it was one that I took a drink. And normally when I get these far out beers, I'll make my wife try it as well, and she actually quite enjoyed that
Really?
stout as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because it's just that fine line of dark beer, but also probably chocked full of sugar.
Kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's kind of like just
Yeah.
having it's like coffee. You could drink it black and it could be fucking dreadful. And there's a type of person that loves it like that.
Do you know
But if you
what?
pile in the milk and
Yeah.
sugar, anyone could enjoy it.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, that's how I like my coffee. Very strong, but also very milky and very sweet. But when it comes to beers, I just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait,
I think it might be the
you're not adding two
coldness.
sugar and milk to your beer?
Not on the show. No, in my spare time, often. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and the thing is, I can drink obviously bitters and just like lagers, brown ales, things like that. But like, I'll tolerate that. Tolerate, that's a bad word to use. But
I tolerate recording this show.
you found me at the right time, you bastard. I'm sitting down here with beer. Um, Man, my wee swear box went out the window in the third
Ah,
episode, didn't it?
no. Tried so
Yeah.
hard.
But again, as I said, like my Pokemon analogy earlier, I'll try the lot just to kind
Mm.
of just to tick those boxes
Yeah.
and say, oh, Spitfire, oh, why not? Let's go for it.
Hell yeah.
So, but down to brass tacks, I tend to enjoy a bit of a fruitier beer.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's like you were saying. It's a yin and yang.
Yeah,
It's good, man,
this
because we
that's it.
both kind of tend to agree on some stuff and not agree on other things, which is great.
Tonight being a good example.
Oh, very good example. Yeah, the short answer for me is obviously classic. I'm an old man. I like my beer. Or have the same attitude towards my beer that I have about movies, music, etc. That while I dabble in newer releases and I'm always open to something brand new kind of connecting with me, there's so much fantastic old stuff waiting to be discovered, old styles waiting to be discovered. I devote most of my time going backwards rather than forwards, which makes races an absolute bitch, but my moonwalking is superb. I promise you.
What a fucking answer, by the way.
Right.
Sorry, ladies
What?
and gentlemen.
Hello?
That was a well prepared answer if I've ever heard one.
Thanks, man.
I'm
I did
glad I was
try.
sitting down to hear that.
It's because you gave me an extra couple of days this week. Bob's. Right.
Fair
Bob's
dues.
Davidson asks, what do you think the next direction step is for brewers, breweries, e.g. with gins? We are having them collaborating with chocolate brands to make truffles, making their own hand sanitizers, etc. What do you think, Stu? You want to take this one? Or?
I'm going to just pass the ball back to you. I want to hear what you think first.
Yeah, I think the next direction would be, or is going to be, by the looks of it, 0% alcohol beers that taste like the real thing. Because Guinness has just released their version of their iconic beverage. I haven't tried it myself, but I think, yeah, with the world we're living in, people are wanting to get healthier and healthier, and I don't think brewers have quite cracked the 0% versions yet. Most have tried are really dreadful, but I think that's kind of where we're going really with it, trying to get beers that taste like the real thing, but without the kind of without the alcohol.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel like they did have like a big campaign behind it. It was one of those ones where you could try it, but I did try a few low alcohol beers during the summer there, and ultimately I was just kind of felt let down. But
Me
part of me
too,
was like,
man.
well, what are you
Yeah.
expecting?
Yeah, there's a part of me that would be nice, like on a Sunday or something about midday, to not get trashed, to have to
Yeah.
have a couple of brewskis with dinner, and still be able to kind of get up and do stuff in the afternoon. But yeah, I've never found one that's quite tasted the same. But as I say, I'm open to kind of trying the Guinness and kind of seeing how it is. But man, veganism is huge, vaping is huge, because sadly all this shit we really dig that is killing us slowly is a bit passe in 2021
Yeah, aye.
in terms of mainstream culture. So
You
I
need to
see
think long term.
beer. Yeah, I see beer kind of going in that direction, getting healthier, really, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think the alcohol or the beer biz has its eyes on, really, is
Well,
kind of
that's it.
rebranding its stuff in a bit of a more healthier format.
Mm-hmm. I've seen things where it's like skinny beers,
Yeah, that's
and it's
that's that's.
like low
I think,
calories, and
yeah,
there's like a tenants variation of it as well, where
is that? I
it
didn't
might
know
have
that.
been just either low alcohol, but God, it is. It's definitely becoming more of a trend.
I think so, man. Yeah, I think that's kind of the next aim, really, or kind of
Mm-hmm.
the next route that they're going down. But as I say, I mean, I'm completely open to it and open to trying it out, because if they can crack it, then I think that they'll make a lot of money
Aye,
in
that's
this
it.
in this day and age for sure.
Mm-hmm. Catering to all audiences.
There you go, like us, exactly like us. Stu, how are you getting on with this beer? Is it similar to?
Finished.
Wow. So you must have dug it before and must have really dug it again now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But do you want to? I do have an answer to our last question. I just
Oh,
kind of want to get your thoughts on it.
wow.
I didn't just like pass it
Well,
back to Tom because I'm not
uh,
prepared. I am
that's what I
prepared,
thought. That's
but I kind of
I
just
apologize for
wanted to
thinking that.
see where you were going.
I
So for
thought
me,
I thought
head.
straight away you didn't have an answer.
No, 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 no. I just felt like,
I just didn't want to put you in depression when I thought we'd move on quickly.
it was definitely one of these ones where I thought, I want to see how he interprets this question. For me, there's two avenues I've kind of noticed. There's trends, or what should be bigger trends. Stewart Brewing recently upgraded their facility and included a pizza oven. So I reckon maybe the pairing of food and beer is becoming more prevalent. Whereas, like, right, there's going to be a tap room, but there's also going to be pizza. So, what's the best pizza? What's the best style to have? What's the best drink to accompany this style of pizza? And then a more local one, Cool Brewing, posted a collaboration that they were doing with farmers, where like their malt heads, once they'd used them for brewing, it was more or less it was getting passed on to the cows.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Like that's kind of collaboration, but it's kind of like everyone working together, like a zero waste type of thing. So right, we've used this. Do we just chuck it? Is there a way that we could not use it again, but pass on? So I think if there's a bunch of steaming cows out there.
Yeah, I hope so. Nothing else to do, really, have they?
So
yeah, I agree, man. I think that's another thing. Looking to more kind of I don't know what you'd call it, but environmentally conscious.
Yes, that's it.
Forms of kind of producing beers, but yeah, might be something in that in terms of kind of more towards advertising kind of beer and food pairings, or kind of more thought into that kind of beer going with, beer maybe solely not being bars anymore and more kind of restaurants, because I know Brewdog's like that, isn't it? It's more kind of beer but also food as well, and there kind of might be more of a focus on that in terms of the craft beer world. So yeah, I've just thought this reminds me of that Green Duck brewer had, like a local brewers. I think it was like a chocolate honey stout,
right?
And I didn't like that.
Yeah,
Either,
your face.
to
I
be
kind of read
honest.
that you weren't.
I wasn't into that either, no. So I think I have tried something similar to this before in the past, and it hasn't really worked for me. A bit let down, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, bud.
Yeah, yes, this is kind
Really
of
glad you enjoyed
the
it.
type of stout that's up my street. I'm definitely not the one that kind of goes for the more bitter stouts. I find I'm definitely disappointed with those. But fuck, if you throw a bunch of sweeties into it, I know Stuart Brewing do have some cans and Aldi's at the moment, and one of them is a Rocky Road. And Parma's like, oh, I bet that's nice. Oh,
Check
I bet
it out,
that's really
man.
good. Oh,
Buddy.
fuck. Jesus, I
Man.
bet that's good. Nice cold tin of that.
Check it out, man.
Raisins,
Get back to us, bud.
marshmallow, chocolate, crumbly biscuit.
You seem to be getting more both more pervy and Scottish.
So, kind of new.
Right. I've
How
had
now,
enough.
brown cow?
I've had enough. How now, drunk brown cow? We hope
I
you've
have. I
enjoyed
spilled my
yourself.
fucking beer everywhere. Jesus.
You definitely has enjoyed yourself. Tonight, party people, it's been a real mixed bag. No, it's been a fantastic time spending the evening with my main homie Stu once again, cracking open a few tins and putting the world to wrong. It's at the Lager Logs to keep up to date with everything we do socially. That's Twitter, Instagram, Mubi, Discord, Happen, Weibo. Bro, yeah, Stu, are you managing to keep
Do we
up with
still
all
have a
these?
tout account?
Are you are you are you managing to keep up with all these definitely real and content filled accounts?
Of course, always.
Always. He's on it, guys.
I
He's on
never
it.
sleep. I
Never.
need the stout to keep me awake. I'm on there just sharing little cartoon pictures of ourselves wearing funny Oktoberfest hats.
Yeah, you say, guys. Log on to jump on our page to check that out. Is there anything going on apart from funny pictures, Stu, over there?
Not much. I'm just back from my holidays, so the social media has been like non-existent. But our followers are up. So should I complain? No. We're into like the third week of our October hosting fee bundle. So again, if you want to support the Lager Logs, Films and Swearing and the likes, please go to our Twitter, twitter.com/the Lager Logs. Look at the pinned tweet. If you give us a donation, I will send you a link to over 5 hours worth of additional contents from Lager Logs, Films and Swearing talking before. The Lager Logs talking before Films and Swearing. Just loads of that. Videos of us unpacking beer. Just a lot of bang for your buck. And it helps us pay our hosting fees. This 100%. Is the only time of the year that I'll kind of put my hand out a wee bit. Just kind of, not quite trying to feed the pony, but just hey, got a couple quid.
Trying to shake your hand. If you do put a tenner inside our hand as we shake it, that's okay with us. We appreciate it. You getting in touch, guys, and having a go on that and donating, support the show, much appreciated. Spreading the lager love. Next week we'll be reporting to the Colonel as we're running Colonel's Table Beer and Vic's Secret Pale Ale through the Assault course. So make sure to join us next week for some military maltness. See you in 7 days, suckers. That is, unless you're busy or your internet cuts out or you're dead. That would be a massive setback and really impede on your podcast time. So, stay alive. That would be great. Bon voyage, booze hounds. Say goodbye, Stu.
Goodbye, Stu.
Woo! Beautiful. Right, I'm going to go and give the missus the rest of my beer because it's terrible.